Hare Krishna. So today we will discuss about the second verse of the Siksastakam. Last time, in the last session, we discussed the first verse of the Siksastakam, in which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described the glories of Harinam, of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is now today the second verse starts from Namna Makari Bahuda Nij Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaivam Idrisham Ihajani Nanurava. So the glories of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra was discussed in the last session as to how it is open to everyone. But in the second verse of this particular Shikshashtakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is lamenting that although it is open to everyone, you have made it so freely available and easy to chant, and there are no rules and restrictions, but still I am so fallen that I have I don't have any inclination to chant this holy name. Namna Makari Bahudha Nijisharva Shaktis, that you have manifested innumerable number of names. So Krishna has got innumerable names. You cannot count so many names the Lord has. God has innumerable names, and in each of his names, he has invested the potency, his own potency. Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. His personal potency. Nija Sarva Shakti means his personal potency, his personal energy he has invested in the holy name. So that much, so much of mercy Krishna has shown to us, that Krishna himself is not available to us, but he has given us the holy name, in which which is identical to the holy name. Now in the material world, any particular thing, you say a mango. So the fruit mango is different from the word mango. For example, if you want to relish a mango, if you want to eat, you are hungry. If you chant mango, 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 your hunger will not be satisfied. You will have to take the particular fruit and eat it. Then only your hunger will be satisfied. But Krishna's holy name is non-different. It is not like a mango and mango's name. So Krishna and Krishna's name are identical. So if one chants offenselessly, Prabhupada says that one can, experience that Krishna himself is present within the name. So Chintamani Nama Krishna Chaitanya Rasvigraha. So the holy name of Krishna is like Chintamani. It is like a touchstone. So the touchstone, wherever you touch a touchstone, it turns into gold. So similarly, the holy name is itself spiritual, and when anybody comes in contact with the holy name, he also becomes spiritual. So that is the quality of the holy name. So the holy name cannot be compared with fire sacrifices or any sort of ritualistic ceremonies, nor can it be compared to yoga and so-called yoga process or so-called mental speculation process. It is far above all these ritualistic ceremonies. So it is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that Koti Ashwa Medhasam Ek Krishna Nam Jai Kahe Sei Pashandi Dande Tareyam. That means if somebody says that one holy name of Krishna is equal to 10 million Ashwamedh Yajna. So Ashwamedh Yajna is a very elaborate and very difficult to perform sacrifice, which all of you must have heard. Big kings used to do Ashwamedh Yajna, and not anyone can perform. And if one could perform even one Ashwamedh Yajna in his lifetime, he was supposed to be the emperor of the whole world. So It says if someone performs 1 crore, that means 10 million. If one performs 10 million Ashwamedh Yajna, and if somebody compares those 10 million Ashwamedh Yajna to one holy name of Krishna, then such a person, say Pashandi, he is an atheist. He has no knowledge about the glory of the holy name, and he will be punished by Yam. So that means one holy name is more powerful than even 10 million Ashwamedh Yajna. So Ashwamedh Yajnas, millions of Ashwamedh Yajna, they have no value before one holy name of Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that you have given such a great benediction in the form of holy name to us, but still we have no inclination to chant the holy name. We think that it is something, very cheap, and that's why we are not so serious in chanting the holy name of Krishna, because it is freely available. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us freely, and the devotees are his greatest devotee, Srila Prabhupada. He went and distributed the holy name free of cost. So they think that it is just like that. It has got no value. But see, the scriptures are telling that it is so valuable, and we don't, know how to value this particular holy name. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is lamenting. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not lamenting. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken our position. He has taken our position to teach us that you don't, become so lackadaisical. You be serious in chanting the holy name. Don't take it something as cheap. It is very valuable, which has been given by Krishna himself. He has invested all his energies, and it is non-different from Krishna, as I was saying. Chintamani Nam Krishna Chaitanya Ras Vigraha. That it is a living, the holy name is not, it is like Chintamani, it is living. Chintamani, Krishna's abode, it is called Chintamani Dham. Chintamani Dham means it is a spiritual world, it is a living world. Similarly, the holy name is non different from Krishna, and it is living. And if you chant the holy name daily, then Swayameva Spuratyada, Krishna himself appears as the holy name, and we can immediately, experience the spirituality of the holy name when we keep chanting Hare Krishna. So, as the Chintamani, that means a touchstone, turns iron into gold. Similarly, if we keep chanting Hare Krishna, then we also become spiritualized. Like the example is given that if you keep an iron rod in hot fire, so if you keep it constantly in that hot fire, so after a few hours or after some time, that particular iron rod itself becomes fiery. It becomes just like fire. If you touch it anywhere, it will burn anything. So similarly, if we keep in touch with the holy name of Krishna, then we also become spiritualized. Just as the iron rod, it turns into fire. Similarly, we are completely materialistic. We are dead. We are spiritually dead. So when we come in touch with the holy name and we chant regularly Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then we also become spiritualized. All our dormant energies, they become, they arise within the heart, and we become absolutely spiritual. And then we can associate with Krishna, we can associate with the holy name in the true sense. Like Rupa Goswami, he was chanting holy name, and we are also chanting holy name. But when we chant, we are supposed to chant 16 rounds every day, because our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada has forced it. He has said that yes, you have to chant. He has given that instruction. So by force we are chanting, because it is for our good. It is not that he's forcing us with some violent means. No, he's saying that you chant every day. He has given us a prescription, like a doctor gives a prescription to a ill person, that you have to take the medicine. So we are chanting the holy name like a medicine. We have no taste for this particular medicine. But when Rupa Goswami was chanting, he said, "Oh, Tunde Tandavani Ratin Vitanute Tundavali Labdhaye." that when I chant the holy name, I feel like I should have millions of tongues, and I should have millions of karna, krodha, kadam. That means karna means ears, and I should have like millions of ears, because when I chant the holy name, I get so much bliss that I feel like having millions of tongues and millions of ears. So that is the real, chanting of Hare Krishna. Because when we chant regularly, we will come to that position, to the position of the pure devotees like Rupa Goswami, that we will want to chant more and more. So, but we have to keep the iron rod in fire. And if we keep, say, if we keep the iron rod say for 2 hours, it is still not it has not become fiery. It has not become red hot. And if we take it out, then immediately within half an hour it will turn cold. So that is what we do. We practice our Krishna consciousness. We read and hear, from the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, we chant, and then we take out the rod. We are not 24 hours immersed into that Krishna consciousness, and we take out the iron rod, and we again go into sense gratification here and there, gossiping about what's happening around the world and what's happening with our friends and with our family people. So this is how we, put water on that red hot iron. So we should keep the, iron red hot. So for that, Prabhupada has prescribed to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 16 rounds daily, and to follow the four regulative principles. So if we follow the four regulative principles and chant the holy name regularly as prescribed by Prabhupada, then we will make a very quick spiritual progress. So Chintamani, Nam Krishna, Chaitanya Rasvidra, Abhinnatva Nama Namino. Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinnatva Nama Namino. So this verse is confirming that there is no difference between the Na and the Nami. That means Abhinnatvan. Abhinna means non-different, and Nam means the name, and Nami means the named. So the name is Krishna and his name is Krishna. So the person Krishna and the name, holy name of Krishna, they are non-different. Purna Shuddho. It is absolutely pure name. It has got no material contamination. Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto. And it is completely liberated, the holy name. So we should chant the holy name. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is describing in this particular second verse. That Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. So such is the holy name of the glories of the holy name, that in the Skand Puran it is mentioned that Go Danam Grahane Khagasya, that if you Go Koti Danam Grahane Khagasya, that if you give in charity 1 crore, that is 10 million cows in charity during an eclipse, and if you Prayaga Gangodat Kalpavasa, that if you reside at the confluence of the Ganga and Jamuna at the holy place called Prayagraj, which is now called Allahabad. So if you reside there for 1 day of Brahma, that is Kalpodak Vasa. Kalpa means 1 day of Brahma, which amounts to 4 crores 32 lakh years. That means it's a very huge length of time to reside at the confluence of the Ganga and Yamuna for such a crores and millions and millions of years. And if you give millions of cows in charity, Prayaga Gangodaka Kalpavasa, and still it cannot be compared to 1% of the holy name. Govinda Kirtan Samam Shatanshay. Shatanshay means 1%. It is not equal to the glories of the holy name of Krishna. One holy name of Krishna that is so invaluable, that so many such big charity, and it is said that charity of cows, which I've already explained, then you have you get punya by residing, you get good results. It's called punya karma for residing in Prayaga Gangodak Kalpavasa. And Suvarna Danam, and if you give charity of gold in any fire sacrifice, if you give charity of gold amounting to Meru Parvat, there is a Sumeru Parvat, there is a mountain called Meru. It's a huge mountain, it is far bigger than the Himalayas, and it is the pivot of the universe. So all the planetary systems, they are rotating around this pivot of Meru Parvat. And if you want to get more details about this Sumeru Parvat, it is mentioned, it is given in detail in the fifth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So if you give such enormous amount of gold, and if you give such enormous number of cows, and if you stay for millions of years at the confluence of Ganga and Yamuna, and whatever you get in return of such good karma, still that karma, such huge karma, cannot be compared to even 1% of Govinda, the name of Krishna. So this is the glory of holy name of Krishna, and still we have no inclination of chanting the holy name. And now if someone may say that this holy name is so pure and it's so spiritual and it's so glorious, then there must be some great rules and regulations for chanting this. So I am a very fallen soul, and I'm not such a big scholar, nor am I a pure person. So it is not for me. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, it is not like that. It is for everyone. Like in the first verse, in the last verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the previous verse that Sarvatma Snapana, it is for everyone. Now here also in this second verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying Nam Namakari Gauda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrartika Niyamita Smaranena Kara. That means there is no rules and no hard and fast rule and regulation. That means niyam means rules and regulation. Niyamita smaranena kala. In order to remember the holy name and to chant the holy name, there are no hard and fast regulations. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that you have given us such a valuable name. You have invested the whole energy, the whole potency into that name. It is so invaluable. And on top of that, there are no hard and fast rules to chant the holy name. Still I am so fallen. Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi, that you are so merciful. You have so mercifully given us such a big treasure. Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaivam. It is my misfortune. It is my bad fortune. Durdaivam, idrisha, ihajani nanuraga, that I have no attraction for the holy name. So this is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is lamenting, and this is factually our position. We have got time to do n number of things, but we have no time to chant the holy name. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this particular second Siksastakam, he is indirectly telling us that you should regularly chant the holy name. And therefore, Prabhupada has given us this particular regimen. It is a regulation that every day, without fail, you chant 16 rounds. So if we chant 16 rounds daily, then we can make steady progress. So we are in touch with the fire. So, but if we don't chant the holy name 16 rounds daily, then we are taking the iron rod out of the fire. The iron rod, if we take out from the fire, then all our hard work is undone. Then again we have to start from zero. So if we chant daily Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then we remain in touch with the fire called Krishna. So Krishna is the supreme fire, and we are infinitesimal sparks of that particular fire. And we have, the spark sometimes, falls out from the fire. And as soon as it falls down from the fire, then it is extinguished. But so by chanting Hare Krishna, we again, come in touch with the fire, and we get rejuvenated, and our spiritual qualities, they shine forth. And by chanting the holy name, we become absolutely joyful. So whatever we are doing in this world, we are working hard from morning till night to earn some money so that we become happy. So so the ultimate aim is happiness. So real happiness can be attained only when we, spiritual, we become, we regain our spiritual identity. So that identity, that spiritual identity we can regain by constant chanting of Harinam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. This is the prime benediction of this particular age of Kali Yuga, and it is the Yug Dharma. Yug Dharma means the particular religion for particular age. Like for example, for different seasons, you have different clothings. So for winter season, you have got a different clothing, woolen clothing, and for summer season, you have light clothing, like you have made up of cotton. So for every season, there is a different clothing. Similarly, for every yuga, like you have Kali Yuga, you have Sat Yuga, you have Treta Yuga, and you have Dwapar Yuga. So there are 4 yugas. So just as for different seasons, you have different clothing. For different yugas, you have different forms of religion, forms of self-realization. So for Kali Yuga, you have the religion for Kali Yuga. Yug Dharma is the chanting of the holy name, Kalau Tad Hari Kirtana. That is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Triteya Dhyayato Vishnu, Tretayam Jajato Makai, and Dwapare Paricharyayam, Kalau Tad Hari Kirtana. So for Kali Yuga, this Hare Krishna Kirtan is prescribed. Like for example, for different seasons, different clothing is prescribed. Similarly, for different yugas, different processes of self-realization are prescribed. So, Kalau Tad Hari Kirtana, Kalau Desha Nidhe Rajan Asti Eko Mahan Guna. So this Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, but there is one great benediction. Kalau Tad Hari Kirtana, that is Harinam, the Krishna Nam Sankirtan. Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Raje. By chanting the holy name of Krishna, one attains the highest perfection of life. And that is what is said in the by Narad Muni also, Harir Nam Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva Gatiranyaka. That in this Kali Yuga, Harir Nam, he has emphasized this 3 times. Harinam, the holy name of Krishna, the holy name of Krishna, the holy name of Krishna. Harir Nam, Eva Kevalam. Only this Harinam. There is no other way out. Kalau, there is no other way. Nasti Gatiranyaka. There is no other way out. To achieve perfection, to achieve liberation, and to go back home to Godhead. This is the only way. And this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is saying. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So he has come as a devotee, he has come as a spiritual master to teach his own bhakti, his own devotional service. So Anarpit Charin Chirat Karunayavatirna Kalau. So Krishna has appeared himself. Anarpit Charin Chirat Karunayavatirna Kalau, that he has appeared in this Kali Yuga to give this holy name. Krishna himself has appeared to give his holy name. So this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a great gift. It is a gift given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he has come himself. Krishna himself has come as a devotee to give this holy name. So we should understand the gravity, the seriousness of this Hare Krishna movement and start chanting Hare Krishna, because that is how, because we can we can pose ourselves as big scholars. We can read many big scriptures, and we can quote and from the big shastras, and we can become very big yoga masters. But if we don't practically chant Hare Krishna, that all those things are outward. But when you chant Hare Krishna, your inner core of your heart, it becomes spiritualized. So this is the only way. There is this yoga process, this mental speculation process, and fruitive karma process, that is not meant for Kali Yuga, or for that means for any yoga. All these they are cannot be compared to the process of bhakti yoga. Like no other process, as I just mentioned, nothing can be compared to 1% of the holy name of Govind, of Krishna. So that is what in this second verse of Siksastakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying the same thing, that you understand the gravity, and become serious, understand how much in such a grave situation you are. Understand that you have fallen into a big big ocean of birth and death, and in order to get out of this birth and death, the only refuge is the holy name of Krishna. This is Kali Yuga. There is no other refuge, only the holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we should always chant Hare Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has prescribed that every day one should chant 64 rounds of the holy name. But Prabhupada has reduced the number to 16 rounds. So we should be very much, gratitude personified towards the mercy of Prabhupada that he has reduced the number from 64 to 16. Where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is prescribed that you should chant 64 rounds daily. So when Prabhupada went to America, in New York, in the beginning he said to the bunch of boys and girls who started coming, he said you chant 64 rounds daily. So they went and chanted 64 rounds, and the whole day they were chanting. It used to take them 8 to 10 hours to chant 64 rounds. So they came back. They came back to Prabhupada. They came back to Prabhupada and said 64 rounds is difficult. We are all Americans and we cannot concentrate for such long hours of time. The whole day goes in chanting Hare Krishna. It is simply not possible for us to chant 64 rounds. So Prabhupada said, okay, fine, you chant 32. So they went again, and for a few days they started chanting 32 rounds again. And again they came back. They said, oh, Prabhupada, this is very difficult. 32 rounds is also, it takes a whole lot of time. The whole day goes on in chanting, and we cannot concentrate for such long hours of time. So Prabhupada said, now 16, and that's fine. You chant 16 rounds and no less than 16 rounds. No more reduction in 16. So 16 is bare minimum. Actually, the bare minimum standard is 64. And Prabhupada, by his mercy, because he is Acharya, he can relax, and he has relaxed. He has relaxed, and he has given us the promise that if you chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily, then I give you guarantee. Even if you are 75% pure, I will take you home, back to God. So we should chant Hare Krishna daily. That is the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Prabhupada has made it very easy. We should take shelter of Prabhupada and chant Hare Krishna every day. Hare Krishna. Thanks a lot. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks for joining. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Neeraj sir.
Yeah,
How are
yes,
you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I just had one small doubt. You had sent me one article, I think few days back, in which they had prescribed some 10 sins that we should not be committing.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. So, and while you were giving this
Yes.
speech, in that you were saying that even if a person has fallen and even if he's very sinful, still the Mahamantra is so that it is okay if they chant. So
Yes.
that applies to those 10 things also, the 10 rules that you have prescribed. If a person is doing that and at the same time if he is chanting.
Yeah. We should chant holy name,
Hmm.
and we should those 10 offenses are given. So
Right.
those 10 offenses we should read, and we should understand them, and we should try to avoid them.
Avoid
And
them. Okay.
yeah. And suppose still we are committing those offenses, that does not mean that we should stop chanting the holy name. Yeah, we should try hard to stop those offenses, but at the same time, we should not think that because I am committing offense, I should not chant holy name. It is not like that.
Right.
When you keep on chanting, then automatically the name will act, and we will stop, committing those offenses. So we are already, everyone is committing offenses now and then. So
Mm-hmm.
the only
Right.
remedy, yeah. So the only remedy to get free from those offenses is by chanting the holy name. So holy name we should not stop chanting, and
Stop.
sometimes we should not stop. And sometimes what happens is that we are chanting regularly very well, and sometimes the offenses are so grave that we lose interest in chanting.
Mm.
And
Right.
sometimes, yeah, so when we lose interest in chanting, that means we should understand that we have committed some offense. So we
Mm.
should pray to Krishna that please forgive me for my offenses, and so that way the offense will be reduced, and again
Mm.
we will get the vigor to chant again. So
Mm.
in a crux, what are the main offense is Satam Ninda. If you read all the 10 offenses, the
Mm.
most you know the offense which is the most serious offense is the first offense, Satam Ninda, that you criticize those persons who are engaged in preaching the holy name of Krishna. That means you
Mm.
criticize the devotees. So sometimes we do that. We
Mm.
criticize
Mm.
devotees. So it
Mm.
so happens that uh, uh, when such offenses become grave, we lose our interest in chanting the holy name. So
Mm.
we should understand that yeah, I am losing interest in chanting the holy name. That means I have done some grave offense.
Mm.
So we should pray to Krishna that if I committed some offense, please forgive me,
Mm.
and please help me so that I may chant your holy name.
Mm.
So this is how we should pray, and we should keep continuing and trying that yes, we should chant the holy
Mm.
name, like a small baby which is crawling. It tries to
Mm.
rise up and it falls so many times, right? But it doesn't give up,
Mm.
hope. It keeps rising up, it keeps falling down, the baby, but still one day it manages to it
Mm.
starts walking, it manages to stand up, and the child
Right.
starts walking, and in due course of time it starts running, and then in due course of time the same child becomes an Olympic
Mm.
champion. So similarly, we may be offensive now,
Mm.
but by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can become great devotees and we can become great preachers. So just as a baby
Mm.
who could not even stand up, it can go up and become an Olympic champion. So similarly, that is the thing. We should keep chanting Hare Krishna, and then we can become masters, and then we can become perfect. Then this is how the process
Mm.
works. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay, so if we call it a day, thanks for joining. Hare Krishna.